kind of question? You didn't
Yeah,
give me
so
any question first, so I have uh, to give you an answer right away, right?
well, you can take as much time as you need to think about it. The first thing we wanted to learn was just how has your life been during COVID-19? Like, has anything changed? Has anything stayed the same?
Now, of course, I mean, life change, because we never experienced this kind of COVID-19, right? So I think the life change is uh, the stay-home policy. We have to stay home most of the time. And then as a small business owner, we have to let the employee to stay home. So the way we are doing business is a people business, right? Real estate, property management. So yeah, especially during the first 2 to 4 weeks, actually the office is almost shut down, and as the owner of the business, I have to still have to come to the office to do some paperwork, to handling some calls. But I think since and beginning of the May, reopen the business, especially real estate is an essential business. So I allow my employee to work more like a limited assets, rotate, not too many people in the same office at one time. It changed, and then we also manage a lot of commercial business tenants. Most of them, they're restaurants in Chinatown. So 90% they are closed down. So you can see that the parking lot used to be fully packed. Now it's almost vacant, right? And then we have to deal with a lot of business owner. They couldn't have their business open, so they are also in a difficult time. Yeah. So all in all, many people lost their jobs, and they either have to live on their um, savings, or they have to take some unemployment benefits. And so, yeah, I think everybody has a hard time right now. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. You mentioned how, um, so you kind of mentioned two things. Like the first thing is that you're working in real estate and you're having to rotate between um, your agents, right? So are you guys mostly relying on technology right now, or are you still doing some in-person work?
I think technology definitely help, right? Just like before you have to show properties, now you have to use the technology to do the virtual showing. And even for traditional retail like a restaurant, uh, you have to do an online ordering, to catch up, because most people right now they order online, and the food delivery instead of just dine in the restaurant. So you can see the technology is playing a more important role. For people who don't know about the technology, they have a difficult time to adapt on that, for sure. Yeah.
And another thing you mentioned too was how a lot of businesses in Chinatown, restaurants in particular, have had to close down. So Tian Tian and I were actually talking about how it was sort of as early as January that we heard rumors, like false rumors about outbreaks
Yes.
in Chinatown. So could you talk a little bit about, your reactions to the public's response,
Yes.
specific, like maybe some of the anti-Asian racism, how restaurants have been coping, all of that.
Yeah. I think the first rumor start within the Chinese community, because I think the first rumor started from WeChat, and then somebody spread the rumor, say, oh, there's a positive uh, COVID-19 happening to one of the employees who is from Wuhan in one of the Chinese grocery store. I think that starts to spread. And then there's a one American guy put on Twitter after that. So there's a lot of rumor, people just heard about the news, they don't even verify, they just pass the message out. So I remember that was a Saturday. And then the next day, that grocery store business dropped 90%. And then all the restaurants just dropped, 70 to 80%. So we lost millions of dollars, especially to the small business owner. So people didn't realize, a rumor can cause that damage. So what we did is we have the Congressman Al Green, we have Mayor Turner, we have Harris County Judge Hidalgo, State Rep Jing Wu. They all stepped forward to have a press conference. We have the Health Department Director to say at that time is no single case, found in Houston. That's back in January. Try to clarify that, So, and then we start to encourage people still continue to shop, in Chinatown. So during that time, a lot of Chinese, they heard what happened in Asia. So they are afraid to come to Chinatown to shop because they thought it's dangerous. And a lot of non-Chinese, they come to shop in Chinatown because they just feel, just a rumor, right? So I can see, and then of course, then the COVID-19 spread out in the U.S. But you can see in Chinatown, we are the first place. All the people are cautious about that. So everyone wearing a mask. So we become the safest place in Houston, right? Because almost everyone, the banker, the restaurant, all the people work in Chinatown, they all wear masks. And then just be cautious because we're thinking that is a good way to to protect ourselves. Even today, a reopen order, you can see still. I mean, you go to when I went to a restaurant today, and then they have to test your temperature. You have to hand sanitize your hand, and of course with a mask, and then keep social distance even within the restaurant. So it's really how you're going to prepare yourself to do that. Other than that, Mayor Turner, and then and we also invite some celebrity to eat in Chinatown, and then let the public know that Chinatown is safe. This restaurant, is okay. Of course, when there's stay-home policy reinforced, all the business has to close down for about a month, and then they can only when they reopen most of the restaurant, they still have to do a more like a to-go order. Even though I think only about 30% of the restaurant they open for the dining right now, but most of it is still just do a order to go. Do not have any dining service. So that's and a lot of like a spa, a nail shop, salon. Most of them they probably they're going to close down till the end of May. Yeah. So that's the situation right now. So we still try to promote the business in Chinatown, and then we and also we supporting the Mayor Turner. He said since the business reopened, we need to support our local business. So then I started a campaign called Asian Americans Salute to the frontline heroes by donating 10,000 meals to the frontline heroes like nurse, doctors, healthcare people, policemen, and firefighters, even bus drivers, because they are the frontline heroes. They still have to provide the services. So we raise money, over $100,000, $10 a meal. We buy the meals from a different restaurant to support them, and then send it to the hospitals and to every agencies. And then we also put an ad on Houston Chronicle. The reason we're doing that is we want to let the Houston community know that Asian Americans, we're Americans. We also care about our community. We do a lot of contributions. According to the data we collected, in the past 2 months, we donated close to 1.7 million pieces of the PPE, personal protective equipment. Value is over 3 millions. So that's from the data we collected, and I believe there's a lot of people doing that on their own. So we just want to let people know that we're not only suffer, and we are also helping. Of course, we saw this anti-Asian, how do you say that, sentiment. It's not right. We advocate, we against any anti-discrimination act against any races, not just Asian. So that's what we are doing in the past month, and keep me busy. Yeah, we have a lot of volunteers to work on that. There's I think the donation we collected, the data is from, I think 69 organizations, and we donated to 155 institutions. So everybody's busy. I think from March and April, and this month. Yeah.
So for you, is this also volunteer work?
Yes, all volunteers.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't get paid. And actually, I not only volunteer, I also donate a lot. Yes. Yes.
To follow up on that too, have you sort of collaborated with groups that you've never collaborated before for all of the work?
Yes. I'm a businessman, so I normally my activity is with the chambers, or with the government, like management district. They all volunteer work. My only full-time job is real estate. I own a real estate company, but I spend most of my leisure time on volunteers. Enjoying that. But I think about 2 months ago, I saw an article or a political ad from a political candidate saying something about like China poison our people, something like that. And then that statement, just make me uncomfortable, because it sounds like, she's against all the Chinese, And then you can see that across the nation, there's a lot of anti-Asian, because a lot of people, they cannot tell you're Chinese or non-Chinese. As long as you're Asian, they just assume you're Chinese, right? Some my friend, they are Vietnamese, they are Thai, the Cambodia, and then they all got threatened. So I just feel that's not right. And then some of our friends, they are more with the advocacy group, which I was not very active involved in the past, like OCA in Houston, CACA, all this advocacy group. And then I just feel, we need to do something together. So when I do my campaign on the Salute to the Heroes, it's not a permanent organization. It's just more like alliances. So I group about almost 10 organizations. And then we divide into groups. Some, they are concentrate, they are volunteers, by the way. Some concentrate on the fundraising, because we need the money to buy the food. Second part will be, logistic. How do you get the restaurants, right, to work with you and deliver the food, And number three is advocacy. Advocacy is why we want to do that. Why we want to do this action is we want to tell the community we care, and then we donate. We are just like everybody, in Houston. And so that's why the advocacy is probably those organizations is normally, that's the first time I work with them for something like this. Yeah.
That's really great to hear. Do you think that this is something that will continue on for the long term, or do you see it as sort of just for now during the pandemic?
Yeah, I think you will never. In Chinese we're saying whenever there's a crisis, there's an opportunity, right? When Asian Chamber is part of these alliances we're working on, and when they contact those Asian restaurants to join our program, in the past we try to promote Asian Restaurant Week or whatever. Normally the response from the restaurant owners are not very enthusiastic. But this time we got over 100 restaurants join the program, which is, I think, a tremendous, it's a network, and then they all offer at least 10% discount to these frontline heroes to show, of course they want their business, but they also want to show they show the appreciation. Yeah, so it wouldn't be a long-term organization, because my goal to start with just donating 10,000 meals, and then let people know what we're doing. But our advocacy group, I have an organization called the UCA. I think it's called United UCA Chinese Americans. It's a nationwide organizations. They're going to work with us. We're going to invite a case. Maybe you heard about the Milan. Is it Milan, Texas, right? There's a Burmese family was stabbed by a Caucasian, anti-Asian crime, and then there's two heroes. One worked for the highway patrol, or the other one worked for I think Walmart security. And then they try to defend the families, and they got really badly injured. So we want to invite them, to honor them, So this kind of thing, And then I watched the show, the PBS show called Asian Americans. That's a good show, And then they mentioned there's a victim, Vincent Chan. And then it is and then we're going to invite I think his family, and then because we want people to remember the Vincent Chen's case, right? Even though in Houston you can see that we have a Tracy G. Tracy G. There's a community center called Tracy G. If you make research on that, the Tracy G was also killed, because of this anti-Asian thing. So we want people to remember that, especially the newcomers. We cannot take everything for granted. So we're going to wrap our campaign by this more like a advocacy meeting, and then yeah, that's will be probably. I think the thing we want to achieve. So hopefully in the future, if we do need to do something else, we can always do that, with a project basis or whatever necessary that we should do. Because I think the community leaders are always available when there's a need. They will always work on that, and then sometimes you don't need to really form an organization, just because of that, you have to form out the organization. Whenever there's a need, then it will come out. Because we are very local based. We don't have any national support. Everything was from local, and then you can see if you go to our donor list, we're using CCC, Chinese Community Center website. Their organization, because that is a 301c, 301c3. So every donation you can do a tax deductible. So we're using their website as more like a foundation. So if you go to their website, you can see all the donor list. When I say donor list, we are counting like a $10 a meal. So you can donate 1 meal, that's $10. You can donate 100 meals, that's 1,000. So people donate from 2 meals to 1,000 meals. You can see it's really everybody. You can see those names, and we're going to recognize all these names. And for their donations. Yeah.
Another question we had, sort of talking about if this situation or if this pandemic were to last longer, are there any sort of lessons that businesses in Chinatown have learned that could prepare them for this longer period if that should happen?
Yeah, I think first to the public. I think you have to keep the environment, your facility clean, right? You have to make sure that this is always updated. Like the trend is more people want to order online. Then you have to learn more technology to see that. I think I remember Channel 13, ABC. They have a Asian American town hall meeting, right? There's one person mentioned that, oh, I love go to Bel Air, go to Chinatown, but sometimes I just don't know where to eat, and then you didn't really promote yourself to the general public. You only the people maybe in the Southwest Houston know you. When I talked to the City of Houston, the Convention and the Visitors Bureau, they have a website to promote different part of Houston. 75% of the Houstonian never been to Chinatown. So if you are in Woodland, if you are in Katy, or in Cypress, you never been to southwest part of town, probably you have never experienced the diversity of Houston. Usually like Houston is like a Dallas, like any other major metro area, right? And actually Houston has a, by the size of that, we have the largest Chinatown in America. We have a very clean, street, and then many new buildings. So for business wise, I think we need more to promote as a destination point to attract more people, not just the Asian, not just the Chinese, non-Chinese, non-Asian, to let the Houstonian and all the newcomers experience the Asian culture. Right? You don't have to go travel to Asia. You have to know. So I keep on talking, but I found out the power is gone. So what else? What else? I mean, you want to know?
We wanted to know more about, so like you mentioned how you think promotion is a very important part of sort
Yes.
of the recovery that
Yeah.
Chinatown would need. So do you think the recovery in Chinatown would sort of proceed differently from other parts of Houston?
I think the business will not come back to normal pretty soon. It slowly will recover, and people are still very cautious, right? Even the business owner, they are cautious, and then like I said, some of the employee, they don't even want to come back to work. So when you lose your business, it takes time to get the business back, because the consumer, the shopping pattern will change, right? And then so I think that's why we have to first of all recover our the business we lost, and then to increase the business, the new business. And that's why I said Chinatown is attract to a lot of people, because the food is always available. The restaurant, and then a lot of business still attract to a lot of people. And then this is the best place you can experience. It's more so we should be, I think, how do we say that? We should promote the area, the general area, that attract people to come, and then to increase the new customer base. So that's what we should do. And then I think we need to set a plan for that, and we have to work together. Yeah.
Yeah, and another thing that we were also interested in learning a little more about, so you mentioned how you saw a lot of your friends, some of them were Cambodian, some of them basically like non-Chinese Asians, right? They
Mhm.
were sort of like all placed into a single group, and being sort of targeted in that way. So do you know of any like experiences, or do you know how like each group might have been affected by the pandemic? Like, is it different across groups, or is it similar across groups?
Well, you know, um, I can say that Southwest Houston, Chinatown is being a district. We have over 90 countries units, because we have the highest density of the apartment units. Within a very limited square miles, over 26,000 units of apartments, plus the houses, right? Plus a lot of business. It's very densely populated. So, and the mix well, so because you can find out in the bigger Asian grocery store or even like a Fiesta. They carry all. I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Yeah, my Wi-Fi kind of went out before. I think you were getting into it, but then like once you got
Yeah,
into
let
it,
me get
I
the
don't think.
mountain. So, okay, let me continue. So, did I mention that we have a densely populated and then a lot of immigrants group, refugee group, you know, and then and then we have the CCC, Chinese Community Center. They always have a program through United Way to help, like ESL, you know, second teach English or job training for the newcomers, you know. So we all work together, and of course, I mean, when you say we all work together, I mean, still, I mean, you know, we have to do a lot of things like the census, right? Census 2020. It doesn't matter you have a legal or illegal status. They don't check on that. But uh, 77036, the zip code, which happened within our area, it is the lowest participation rate. So we need to have more, encourage more people to fill up the census so we can get more resource area, you know? Yeah. So that's something that we need to work on, yeah, to help ourselves, right? I hope that answer your question. Yeah.
That
So we need to work within, help each other. I've seen that a lot of volunteer group, they try to help those their own people. Unfortunately, some people are misuse. I think misuse their power. They are using their people to do some bad things. You know. So, but anyway, overall, we do have. I think we have a lot of help and assistance from the community, you know. So it's better. So that's why people like to move to Houston, because if you in a rural area, you don't have that kind of support, and then you'll be more isolated. Yeah.
And another thing we wanted to learn about was just your own experiences. So, have you ever been through anything that would be comparable to the COVID-19 pandemic?
No, no, I've been in Houston since the 80s. uh, the only experience I have is the SARS, but that's in Asia, you know. But I'm in America, so I don't feel that. You know, for all my friends in Asia, they you know, they're scared of that, and that's why they are more prepared this time.
No, I remember we learned from a previous interview that you were born in Taiwan and you grew up or you moved to Hong Kong as a teenager. So,
Mm,
have you been able to keep in contact with anyone there recently?
yeah.
And like, do you know about like how their experiences might compare with your own in Houston?
Sure. Uh, I mean, I still go back to Taiwan because my mom still live there, you know, and my sister, my brother. But Hong Kong, all my relatives in Hong Kong, they already immigrant to Canada or other part of the country before 1997. Yeah, so I'm more like a tourist to Hong Kong right now, you know. And so if you ask me, you know, is there any difference? Uh, I can see the change in Taiwan. I can see the change in Hong Kong, uh, especially after the China takeover. You know, some are good, some are bad, but to me, I feel more like I'm American now. You know, and then uh, so whenever I go to Taiwan and Hong Kong, I think I see that differently. I actually I also go to China a lot. You know, 2 years ago I have a trip with Mayor Turner. I think Ping is on that trip too. 78 people, a big delegation to China to visit. When we traveling to other countries, we try to promote Houston. We try to promote Houston as an international city. How international we are, you know, it's that's our effort. You know, we pay on our own money. We just let the people know Houston is a good place for newcomers. 25% of the Houstonian were born outside the USA. You know, we are the city of the future because none of the metro area in America are so diversified as Houston. When I say so diversified, because if you see that New York, San Francisco, and Los Angeles were different. Yeah, so that's a unique about the Houston, and that's why we just thinking Houston should keep on growing and should become one of the gateway city, you know, to America. Yeah.
And then sort of maybe one of the last questions we have is, you talked about the future. Do you think the outbreak or the pandemic has changed your perspective about the future you had in mind, either your own future or the future of Houston?
I think the pandemic I think the future is uncertain, right, in the short run, right? But in the long run, definitely people have to change their mind because I told many of American, including myself, 17% of the medical professional are Asians. And the Asian American are not the origin of the disease, but we are part of the solution. Right, like Andrew Yang said, right? Because we are helping people, and then we try to resolve that, and we're the solution. Don't blame on us because you don't know us. And then why Asian American is always treated as a foreigners. That's why I heard from many American-born Asian or Chinese, because they say I'm American, but why? You know, I have no accent. I'm just like a regular American. Even my son say I'm American, but why the American didn't treat us as American? You know, they treat African American, they're American, right? But why is Asian American? They say, oh, we are not. It's like we are not American, which is, you know, we are here over 100 years, right? And then that's why I think we need to be more. How to say that? We shouldn't be humble and then low profile. So that's why this time when I say I need to find out how much money we donate. Normally, it's like a secret, you know. You don't want to let people know do you donate or not, right? This time I want to tell you how much I donate, over 3 million. You know, I want to show people, say, hey, we didn't donate the most, but at least, you know, we did, right? And then we have to voice out. We have to show the people we are part of the community. You know, I want the mayor to make a speech saying Asian American, they are also a good citizen. They are, we all together, right? So you need those people who has a power and to voice for us. And then we need to vote. We need to be more involved with the politics, even though we don't like politics. So I support all the candidates, if they are not Asian, I don't care what party he or she is. If he want to run, I'm going to support this candidate, or he want or this candidate is really pro-Asian, then I'll support. That's the attitude we need to we need to advocate more people to do that. So this this how do you call that epidemic is create anti-Asian, and this gives us an opportunity to see we cannot take everything we have as granted. We need to keep on fighting, keep on working to get our rights. It's not only for us but for the future. And then so when Andrew Yang came to Houston, I don't know him, but I still support him. Because that's the only candidate I know, an Asian candidate to run for a president, right? And he did well. So I just say we need more people like that. Yeah. So it's one of the lessons I learned. You cannot just everybody is a king within, the small pond, right? But there's no use. You have to voice out. You have to let people know. We are here. Don't neglect us. Yeah, I think that's the thing I learned. You're too young, but you remember we used to have an old Chinatown in downtown, and that was history. But there's no trace you can find out the old Chinatown, right? And I don't want this new Chinatown become a history, right? Where can we go? If Chinatown was not here anymore, where can you go? Right? Which is that's our history. Why we have to come here and how we can keep this. So I think this archive library is really important, because at least hopefully people will go into the library and find out why, how it happened. Yeah, otherwise it was a history nobody will remember.
Yeah. I don't know if this will be too off topic, but I was wondering, why do you think Asians haven't been so involved in politics in the past?
I think to me, I'm the first generation. We are here because we don't like politics, right? We think, we don't want to be. The politics is dirty, corrupted, and then all these people are selfish, only think about themselves, right? Most of them. And then when we came here, we don't trust. Not we. A lot of people don't trust the government they were from. They just government and the people are different, And then most of the Asian culture, they were more like a self-centered. You take care of yourself, and then everybody, and then nobody will bother you. You just keep a very low profile. Nobody want to, know you, and then you'll be okay. I think, and then okay, and then we have to also, and our parents normally will say, will educate us. Okay, it has to be either an engineer or a doctor or whatever, has to be a professional. Don't do those things nonsense like voting, politics, or whatever. So and then so that that didn't educate. So we didn't educate our kids. You should go some other fields. Why don't you be a lawyer? Why don't you be to be a good politician? Or work for the people. Well, and then the parents will say, "Oh, they don't make money. Yeah, not worth it. Right? You have to do something and make money." We're very practical. That's one thing. And I think another reason is for first generation, we're working hard. Like in Chinatown, everybody working 7 days a week, day and night, especially restaurant people. If he was robbed, okay, you say, well, you should report the police. They will say, so what? Waste my time. I have to wait 2 hours, talk to the policeman. And then luckily, if they caught the criminals, I have to be the witness, and then that's another waste of my time. I can make my money back. Even worse, it's dangerous. What happens if they found me and then they're going to kill me, because those are bad people. So all this reason cause that, we always are the victims, right? And we don't have a voice, right? And we just keep quiet, oh, it's my, it's not my lucky day. So, just next time I should be more careful. So all through this, I dealing with all this crimes issue, the economic reason, but that's the reason, And then for our younger people, I mean, I think they didn't, they don't know how to, I don't know. I just say maybe we didn't do a good job to educate our younger generation how to keep the both your Asian your heritage, right? Your own culture, and then with American culture. But who is better? Who is bad? You never know, because right now you can see that even now I sometimes I question the American the value system. Is that true? Right, all over the world used to be number one. Why we are not number one anymore? Must be a reason, right? Why Asia is start to rise? It's not just the economic power. There's a lot of reason for that, but we cannot change, and that's why I think that's the greatness of America. It's a melting pot. You have to absorb all the goodness. I think we have the good virtue, and then you cannot just using your own thought to judge, every and then so we have to be open, so that's why I think it is important for us to we need to voice out to tell people, and then learn from each other, an open mind. Otherwise, how can we improve ourselves? Yeah. So my expectation, I think Houston is still probably the best place for immigrants, because if you're new immigrants, like you two, you're lucky to be in the right time, in the right place. Because if you're 100 years earlier, you should be in New York. If you are 50 years earlier, you should be in San Francisco. If you are 30 years earlier, you should be in Los Angeles. But now you are in Houston because we are going up and the other city is saturated. There's some opportunities, but there's I think, more opportunity for young people. Then probably Houston is one of the best place for young people, and that's why you can see the growth of the immigrants, and then we have room to expand. Yeah, we have so much land, so much opportunities. So I think that's you can see people thinking that's a disadvantage. Actually, it's a advantage. Yeah. So welcome to Houston, and you should stay. Yeah. Do you plan to stay? Can you stay? I know you're from one from Singapore, right? Singapore is great. Is a great country. Yeah. You have to go back to serve your country.
No, I don't have to go back. So I have a green card. So I grew up in the Bay Area and I came to Houston to attend Rice. But I have plans to stay here for another year.
Really good.
Not
Yeah,
really
Bay
sure
Area
what
is
will
Bay
happen
Area is
after.
yeah, I have a lot of friends live in Bay Area, you know. So yeah, that's a good place, but very expensive. Yeah. Um, yeah. So how about you? Are you from Houston?
Yeah, I'm a Houston native.
Oh, you born in Houston?
Yes.
Oh, native. I see. So you know this area pretty well then.
Yeah.
Okay. So your parents are from China or from other country?
They're from Shanghai.
Shanghai. Okay. Yeah, you know my parents were born in Shanghai.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they went to China, Taiwan in 1949. Yeah. Mm.
But
Oh,
I just pressed the record button. But yeah,
okay.
like thank you so much for just sharing your thoughts with us. I
Okay.
think
Pleasure. Yeah.
especially the advocacy piece was really interesting.
Yeah, that's new to me because I you know I don't care. No, and I no I didn't say. I just say I don't think advocacy is my expertise, but I just say it's no expertise. You have to just get involved. You know. So yeah. So I think if the times comes, you have the opportunity. You just have to act on that. You know, with the right people. Then you have a hopefully there's a ripple effect, you know, can affect more people, right? So then that will serve the purpose. Okay, so you are more than welcome uh, to uh, to talk to me again, if necessary, you know, or I can invite you to a lunch in Chinatown. You know, tell me which is your most favorite restaurant. Okay, which one is yours? Tell me what's your favorite restaurant?
I feel like I haven't been to all of them, but I really like dim sum.
Okay,
So
which please?
I think
Huh?
the like dim sum place that I enjoyed the most was Golden Dim Sum, I think it was called.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. Next,
They,
try HK Dim Sum at the
oh,
Zheng.
okay.
Yeah, the owner is from Guangzhou, so very
Oh,
authentic. Yeah, dim sum only. Yeah. How about
yeah.
you? What's your name?
Uh, Tian Tian.
Tian
Yeah.
Tian. Tian Tian.
Tian
Okay.
Tian, yeah. Uh,
Yeah. What's your favorite restaurant?
um, I think my favorite is like next to it's now an H Mart. It used to be like a Golden Market, and it's the Shanghai
Oh,
Cafe.
taste of
Like
China or that. You like the soup dumpling? Su
it's
Hui,
like
right?
I don't know the Chinese name. I'm very
Like
bad with
it's
Chinese.
like a
It's like Shanghainese breakfast.
and then Hunan.
Remember you brought us there
Yes,
once.
yes.
Sorry.
With youtiao and
Oh,
Coconut,
right next to it.
Kohua.
Yeah,
yeah,
right next to it. It's a breakfast area.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay, that's a traditional one. Xinchen. Xinchen.
yes, yes.
Yeah. And then, but there's a new one. Try the soup dumpling. It's very good.
Okay, I will.
That's the most famous Shanghai dim sum. Soup dumpling. 小笼包.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Tell me. I know every restaurant. What is the best? You know. Yeah.
How about you? Do you have any favorite restaurants?
My favorite restaurant.
Yeah.
Uh, no, because you know every restaurant just have two or three famous dish. Not all the dishes are good. So you have to know what you order. You know. But uh, the restaurant I go is used to be my tenants, or I've been there for a long time. Like there's one called the Shanghai, but it's not Shanghai. The name is Shanghai. It's a Cantonese style. Yeah, it's a Fu Zai Ji. They've been here for 40 years. The owner is a cook, so he make a really traditional Hong Kong style. Yeah, Hong Kong cafe is good for the barbecue duck. That's one of the best. Yeah, in Houston. Yeah. So I only remember what is a good dish in every restaurant. Yeah. Yeah. But I live in Hong Kong for a while, so I'm enjoying more Cantonese food. You know, yeah. All right, we can talk about the food the next time. Just talk about the the restaurant. All right. Okay. All
Okay,
right.
thank you so much. I think
No
we'll
problem.
just.
Thank you. Enjoy that. It's 1 hour, man. So
Sorry. I think I told you it'd be 30 minutes, but
it's
yeah,
okay. Yeah, we
yeah.
can do another time. Okay.
All right,
All
thank
right.
you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
I'll talk to you later. Okay. Bye.
So to conclude, my name is Alicia Leong, and we interviewed Mr. Kenneth Lee over Zoom on May 27th, 2020 for the Houston Asian American Archive. I did this interview with Tian Tian He.